I always thought this scene was super awesome. There are so many elements of the future that one day I hope we'll be able to see. However, in this video, what we're going to go over today is just those gyro wheels. We're going to leave autonomous driving and robots to another video another day. So many people are already talking about it anyway. But today we're talking about omnidirectional driving. In the clip from iRobot, we saw wheels that are gyros that kind of spin around and can turn and allow cars to move at high speeds in any direction. However, from what we've seen so far, nothing like that is really close. Maybe with anti-gravity someday, we might be able to get there. But we did find a few technologies that are already in the market that companies are working on that may one day be able to bring this to life. Now, naturally, people have been working on these sort of multi-directional movement wheels for quite some time. But what we see right now, most companies that are doing this in a way that may work tend to be based on this concept that was patented in 1972 by a man named Bengt Elon. Apologies for the pronunciation there. He patented something called Mecanum wheels. Well, Mecanum wheels are an incredible innovation in the world of robotics. Unlike regular wheels, Mecanum wheels have rollers that are mounted at a 45-degree angle around the perimeter. This unique design allows them to move in any direction, not just forward or backwards, but also sideways, diagonally, and really almost anything you can think of. Mecanum wheels are currently used by robots and in warehouses for maneuvering in tight spaces, so you can kind of turn on a dime. They don't move too quickly. It's a bit harder for them to move fast. They're quite expensive to produce, but they do allow for precise control, and they are able to work in heavy-duty environments. Imagine a robot that can glide effortlessly across the floor, spinning, strafing, and moving in ways that standard wheels simply cannot. And those sort of spinny wheels that you see on carts that you push, imagine that but with motorization. One of the big players that's actually building solutions and products using Mecanum wheels is a company you've never heard of, KUKA Robotics. KUKA Robotics is a $3 billion a year euro in revenue company. They were founded over 100 years ago in 1898 in Augsburg, Germany, and they are one of the global leaders in robotics manufacturing, warehouse management, and custom solutions design. So KUKA has a product that's called Omnimove. It brings omnidirectional movement on an industrial scale to the factory floor. Omnimove is already in use by customers around the world, but as of now, it's pretty much only industrial. Like we said before, it's not meant to move at the speeds, and it's not meant to be mass-produced and given to, vehicle manufacturers at this time. Now, while KUKA is producing some market-ready products like Omnimove, which are being used by large customers like Airbus, it is still very niche. KUKA has yet to commercialize anything like what we see from Will Smith or US Robotics that were driving in iRobot. And all of their solutions like Omnimove tend to be very small batch production and highly customized for the product that they're being made to move. So, not quite there yet for KUKA, but good investment, potential future. Very tiny portion of that $3 billion revenue is dedicated to omnidirectional wheels or Mecanum wheels, but there is something to it, so we should look out for them in the future. But now let's move on to a smaller company that's innovating in a more extreme way. There is a company out of Australia that was founded in 2005 called Rotacaster that's been making some pretty cool and innovative attempts at bringing Mecanum wheels and Mecanum wheel-like solutions to market.
Generically known as an omni wheel, and there's basically two types of wheels in the world that allow 360-degree movement from a fixed axis, and that's an omni wheel and also a Mecanum wheel.
Rotacaster, unlike KUKA, has specialized in these omnidirectional wheels and Mecanum wheels. In so doing, and despite their young age, they have been able to carve out a niche, securing contracts and developing products for major logistics companies and manufacturing companies. We do not know exactly how much money they are making. It's not publicly available, and they don't need to make it so. But we can estimate that it's quite small, talking in the hundreds of thousands, at most millions of dollars. They aren't changing the world at this point, but they are beginning to. And as more companies like Rotacaster come to market, we may be able to see some forward progress in omnidirectional movement in the larger market. Coming back to some of the bigger fish, let's see what Honda's been up to. Now, Honda is not new to this game, and they have been developing omnidirectional vehicles, or attempting to, for quite some time. And to their credit, they've produced something called the Omni-Traction drive system. Using this Omni-Traction drive system, Honda has produced an initial product called the UNI-CUB. UNI-CUB does allow for the omnidirectional movement, allows users to spin on dimes and move effortlessly in any direction. It is single wheel, but it does get a lot of what we see from iRobot, in practice and in the real world. UNI-CUB has yet to make it to market in mass, but it has begun limited trials. So while the big boys are in the game and they are actively stimulating and driving innovation in the omnidirectional movement wheel market, it's not quite there yet. Neither are they, nor are the small fish, really. But if you remember back in the 90s when Toyota and Honda started building hybrid vehicles, it kind of looked like this UNI-CUB did now. So maybe this UNI-CUB will end up being the Prius to our USR cars from Asimov's 2035 future. So overall, the market value for omnidirectional wheels as of 2024 was quite small, valued at only about $500 million. So all those companies you saw are taking a piece of that, not doing much. But some estimates have it almost 10xing up to $5 billion within the next 10 years by 2035. Now $5 billion's pretty big, but it does sound like it would still be limited to industrial use, but getting there. Which brings us to the question of the day. When will we have USR cool multi-directional driving vehicles? And the answer, not anytime soon, unfortunately. So, omnidirectional driving vehicles like USR cars, Sci-Fi only.